finding out that there was a wonder drug that could potentially save your life and then being told that you can't have it because it's too expensive. Well, that's the reality for a small number of Aussies suffering a rare, life-threatening disease. So just how much is human life worth?
Hi, beautiful.
17-year-old Bianca Scott is really sick. And the only reason to smile today is this hug from mum Tammy.
At the moment, Bianca is in an attack stage. She is constantly in hospital. It's going from a life to an absolute nightmare.
Bianca is one of roughly 60 Australians suffering atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, a rare genetic disease that has her fighting for her life in a Gold Coast hospital.
My kidneys have failed, and I feel very sick and tired and weak all the time.
In simple terms, her illness causes organs like the kidneys, heart and brain to suddenly fail or slowly lose function, her immune system essentially attacking rather than protecting.
We know that around 10% of patients, or 1 in 10, will die within the first year post-diagnosis, and that most of those patients will end up needing dialysis treatment then for the rest of their life.
Young Bianca spends up to 9 hours a day hooked up to machines, receiving dialysis and plasma exchange to remove and replace abnormal protein in her blood.
Unfortunately, plasma exchange doesn't do anything about the underlying problem in aHUS. It doesn't correct the abnormality, so it's not a cure.
I'm most afraid that I'll need constant treatment and that one day it will just be a terminal thing.
The only treatment that might ultimately save Bianca's life is a drug marketed as Solaris. The therapy is being used to treat aHUS patients overseas, including in the US, UK and Japan.
We need to get Solaris into Bianca immediately, and we need a government, we need some assistance for that to happen straight away.
But although Solaris is approved for treating aHUS in Australia, it isn't funded by the government. And with an estimated yearly price tag of almost $500,000 per patient, the life-saving treatment is financially impossible for most sufferers.
If I didn't have Solaris, I wouldn't be here today. There's no question about it.
Catherine Marshall is one of 10 Aussies fortunate enough to be given compassionate access to Solaris by the drug manufacturer.
I was bedridden, I couldn't do anything for myself. I was completely relying on machines to keep me alive.
She says getting the drug saved her life.
My kidneys started to heal, plasma exchange and ultrafiltration stopped straight away. Even just having the energy to read a book or take my dogs for a walk, it was amazing.
The 23-year-old still suffers some kidney damage, and unless the government agrees to subsidise Solaris, she fears the drug that's keeping her well could be taken away at any time.
It's completely up to the drug company as to whether or not they continue access for me. It's pretty terrifying to think that maybe one day I wouldn't be able to have access again.
Sadly, for patients like Bianca, the drug company isn't taking any new cases under its Compassionate Access program.
I can't believe that 2014, today, this medicine was available at least 3-4 years ago, and it's not what's being put in my baby's body.
Bianca and her mum are pleading with the government to fund the drug under its life-saving drugs program for rare conditions.
I see it as like a lifesaver because you take this medicine once every fortnight and then it lets you live a normal life.
But just last year, the Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee rejected an application to have Solaris added to the program for aHUS patients. They found there wasn't enough evidence Solaris was more successful and cost-effective than current treatments.
What we are talking about is protecting organs. Organs are not a negotiable part of health. We don't have time. Time is not on our side.
If I could sit down with the health minister, I'd ask him if he could please save my life.
It's a real tough one. Sadly, the economics of health is not fair. It's not actually compassionate for a very good reason. But in this scenario where it's being given to these patients around the world and governments elsewhere have decided to fund it, when they meet, the Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee in March are going to meet with the government. They're going to put the evidence forward. And sadly, you know, it'd be so nice if Bianca could be there to give her evidence, her side, her pleading. But I mean, it comes down to the economics of it. Until then, I suppose she's relying on the compassion of others to help her. And we've got all the information about how you can help on our website. So head there for the details.
We'll be back after the break.
it all